Hello Pisces, welcome to the Plaid Sheep Oracle. So this is the second iteration of your reading. The first, it made sense to me, I understood what wanted to come through, but it spent a lot of time talking about the difficulties, the challenges, what has been in the past. And then there was, sort of a little bit of, what was to come and what was interesting or exciting. And I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to read it. Personally, I've been engaged in this work, this exploration in the last month. And my shadow aspects are putting up a fight. A lot of things that I thought I had kind of set aside just welled up. And so I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to give any time to the mire, to the swamp. So I asked Pisces, show me more of what is to come. Show me more of the expansion. Show me, and I want a reading that's all about that. And so this is what we have. So we do start with this 10 of Voices, which is this extreme energy. And whether you see the energy is sort of coming down and through her or up and through her, it kind of doesn't matter. But there is this intense energy. And I think that when we decide to really face the joy and face the beauty, that is challenging, that it feels really, or it can feel really uncomfortable. We can, there's parts of us that put up a fight, and it can feel like this. But I want to say that maybe this is the last time. Because I also think that this, may be a process that we endure, that we pass through a number of times before it finally really clears. And I'm feeling that this could be, right, if you're coming to this reading, that this is the last time. I mean, the last time you're going to get that really major pushback. And there are a number of things to confirm that, and I'm going to talk about some of them as we go. One of them is actually that it's just gotten lighter here where I'm filming. It had gotten quite dark. There are heavy clouds, but it has just lightened quite considerably here. So I believe that this is the last time that you're going to confront this energy in a really significant way. I mean, you're going to run into things later in your life that do a little triggeriness to you, and you have a little moment of "Rrr." But if you felt significant pushback, and this, right, Saturn is moving retrograde through Pisces, so there can be this, right, the sense maybe of revisiting things one last time. And it may be a little different for everybody that comes to this reading, that some people haven't yet experienced this, and that some people are about to. Now the visible underlying is this lovely Six of Voices, which I always think of as, right, being able to move directed by intuition, right? What is, why the broader aspect of self, by the wider self. And you may have been hesitating here, unsure. But then the hidden underlying is this Three of Wands, where you just push the dominoes over and it goes. And there's a kind of excitement to that, right? If you've ever played with dominoes, lined them all up, or gone on YouTube and watched those videos of sort of extreme domino lining up that people do that are pretty amazing, right? There's an excitement to that. And then below this Six of Voices is the Ace of Materials, Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Voices, Ace of Swords, and this fabulous Nine of Materials, which was actually face up on the deck when it was chosen. And then also this Justice card with this kind of head-splitting imagery. And then I'm going to go one more to the Six of Inspiration, Six of Wands, victorious energy. So where is it going? First of all, curiosity. It may feel very much these page energies have been coming out a lot too, with the newness, the kind of novice energy. And right below her is the Ten of Swords repeating. Not despair, but the end of despair. And then below that, interestingly, we have this King of Cups, while at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace. So this is the third Ace now showing up, right? He's holding his cup. And, I want to say again that this is you. Your court card is usually thought of as the Knight of Cups, but today you're coming through as the King. That more mature energy. And then below the King is the Sun. Oh, look. And another Ace, the Ace of Wands here. And we're going to come back to this a little bit later. So, the Fool, beginnings, of course. Really, I want to say that it's really like a clean slate. And it's kind of interesting. Pisces, it's not like your new moon is coming up. It's actually the Leo new moon that's coming up on Sunday. I'm recording this on Wednesday to come out on Thursday. So we're still a few days away from the new moon, and it's in Leo. But it is sextile Jupiter and Mars in Gemini. And Jupiter is your planet. And he's in this sign of the mind. So the new mindset, starting fresh. Doesn't matter what came before. You now have a perspective, a space. King of Swords, authority. All of this King energy, there's a bunch of it, is sort of synchronous for me. I had 3 Kings come out in my own personal reading this morning, including the King of Swords. So that, right, this authority over your own mind so that it doesn't get hijacked. Because it can feel that way. when those shadowy bits take over, it can feel like somebody's like hijacked your mind. And you're thinking thoughts that, you know, part of you knows are not really productive at all. If you've been here for a while, you know I sometimes talk about Terry Pratchett, the author of the Discworld series. And he has a character named Tiffany Aching, who's a young witch. And she has both first thoughts and second thoughts. And then she has third thoughts. And the third thoughts are a kind of witness. They're like sitting out here, out of the normal, able to witness what's going on. So when you have that hijacking, it can feel like you're a witness to these things happening. But now you have this authority. And then there's these two cards coming through interestingly. First, the movement, fast, rapid. Eight of Wands, movement. But this Universe card coming in immediately after feels like this all just lining up. So where in the past, maybe you felt overwhelmed by a lot of input. I do know some folks with a lot of Pisces energy who feel overwhelmed sometimes when there's a lot of fast-moving fire incoming. But now you have the ability to line it up just the way you want it. And then when I saw this card on the bottom of the deck, I thought, yes, this is what I was looking for, Pisces. Hummingbird, joy. And right below that, the spirit of spring and activation with this beautiful maypole. And then the bottom, new beginnings, daffodil spirit fairy. And then prosperity with the bee. And we also have this, which has also been coming out a lot, of seeing yourself as the swan. Seeing the possibilities. You know, the shadow is not just something to be pushed aside. It does have important information. It often holds many of our desires. So the idea here isn't to just shove it off into the corner and be happy. It's to recognize what is valuable, but not allow it to take you over and sink you. To be able to reflect, but to maintain kind of the autonomy of your mind, that you don't get sunk, so that you can see, you know, really what the best course is. You know, and there may even be things that your shadow says that are true, but that don't serve you. You know, I found myself during this period of being in the drama, what they call the drama triangle, where there's a victim and a perpetrator and then a rescuer. And I found that I was, in some ways, I was in all three. I was feeling sort of like all three. And that you can just, right, you get caught up in that and then there's no way out if you continue to stay in that space, right? That you have the ability now to reflect and to say, yes, you know, I see shadow while you believe that to be true. There's even some, sort of factual things going on in there, but it doesn't get us anywhere. The way to change something, to move on, to alter the circumstances, maybe to help others, is to not get caught up in that. Right? And then we have this wood nymph with beauty. To focus that way. Also to recognize your inherent beauty. And to know it. So now we have a sort of interesting thing. As I was shuffling this deck, this card leapt out and just, was by itself. And then I pulled the 4 cards, and I saw that the bottom of the deck had this 5 of Cups. What is that? I mean, it is the perspective card, right? Do you hang out here bemoaning the spilled cups? Or, do you sort of lift your head up and choose a new direction, either with the 2 cups that are still standing or, just leaving everything? And then I knew that I needed to turn this over and make it the new visible underlying. And it's the Empress. And then right below this 5 of Cups is the Sun. Again. So, right, the 5 of Cups between the Sun and the Empress. And also as a counterbalance to the bottom of the deck, which is this 2 of Pentacles, which can, it depends on how you look at it. It can feel like an endless loop, that you keep juggling the same things over and over and over and over again. That's one way to look at it. Or it can be perspective, that you have skills and that you in fact don't have to be stuck with these 2 pentacles. You can change them out. They're not glued to your hands. And then we have the High Priestess. Insight, intuition, seeing all sorts of possibilities, seeing into other timelines, seeing into other ways of being. Just the ability to see. The King of Swords repeats. And here he's kind of in conjunction with this 5 of Wands. So not that he's going to go in there and break this up immediately. The 5 of Wands, in my sort of universe, is more often about creative madness. The creative space, the quantum realm, where everything is in flux until you make a choice. And the key is to not let it run away with you, right? To not let it turn into a bunch of conflict in your own head where you're, beating on yourself from different directions like I was. So that's his job here. And then we have judgment, right? Making the choice, choosing the thing, giving it your attention, your focus, so that that quantum wave collapses and you bring that thing into your experience. Then we have the Fool. Right below him is this 4 of fungi. Leave that stuff behind, right? If you've buried yourself under something, you've been sitting there thinking about it, ruminating, perseverating about it, you're just gonna leave it behind. You're just gonna run. Go. And the bottom of this deck is another Ace of Swords, the Ace of Aether. So this new, right, it is about a new mindset. This sextile with your guide, Jupiter, sextiling that beautiful moon, new moon in Leo. Now that, right, that is square, right? The Jupiter is squaring you as he passes through Gemini. It may feel a little uncomfortable, but it's the squares, right? That dynamic aspect that can really lead to change. And then we have death. Transformation, it had to come up. I'm also going to say that beyond this Ace of Air down at the bottom of the deck, I had to go look, and there's 4 major arcana. We have the Magician, the Lovers, Strength, Leo, and Judgment repeating. And the 9 of Fungi, which, right, is that this card. Often for me, those, oh, and there's the Page of Swords again, Page of Aether. So then you're showing up here again, this time as the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, really raring to go, moving at speed, all decked out. Something that's sort of been in my consciousness recently, and I'm gonna, since it's coming up, is the idea of clothes. That it's very nice that one can be casual, that you can just throw on a pair of sweatpants to go to the grocery store. But that there's a loss if we do it that way everywhere, right? If we wear sweatpants to the theater. And I've seen this, not even just the movie theater, but the theater. That kind of loss of elegance, the loss of that bit of formality, of, taking that extra care, that it shows kind of an extra respect for self, for others. It's this aesthetic appreciation. The human animal loves things that are beautiful, right? There's this beauty thing here. So maybe there's something in that for you, that if you've, the phrase that's coming up, that sounds a little judgmental, is that you've let yourself go. And I certainly can relate to that. I've had kind of feelings that just, especially in the last several years, everybody got trapped indoors. And it was post that I really began seeing, kind of people wearing loungewear, sweatpants, and even pajamas, actually, just out on the street. And it was demoralizing to me. Venus is exalted in Pisces. And she actually is very soon going to move into Virgo, right across the way from you. So it may be that there's something about this that's going to inspire a kind of beauty focus on, maybe on what you're wearing, on how you wear it, on, how you see your home. So that may become sort of a focus for you, possibly. Then we have the 9 of Pentacles. wish fulfillment, ease, emotional mastery, being serenaded here. And then the Five of Cups repeats as this Five of Pentacles, but here you're saying goodbye. Right? Whatever that is, it's leaving. You're going to wave goodbye, and then you're going to turn away and, begin this new, this new beginning. Clearly, cleanly, without, guilt or anything else. Formal advice. Mermaid's love. So this focus, right? This focus on beauty, on love, maybe on relationships of all kinds. As Venus traverses that Virgo space across from you. And below that, a little more about that with my home is my castle. So maybe truly that you're going to, look around at your space and decide to do things to it. And this doesn't necessarily have to involve, buying all new furniture. It could be rearranging furniture. It could be making repairs to things that have, maybe become worn. It could be letting go of things that are just cluttering up the space. The bottom has this stranded card, but I think it wants to say that you aren't really stranded. That anchor isn't hooked to anything. You can just, pull that thing right up into the ship and move on. You do not have to hang around. And actually next to that on the bottom is the journey. And this home in the sky. So there's no need, the feeling of being stranded isn't real. Now this says protective nest, but actually to me it feels like things about to hatch. That you've been nurturing things, things have been nurtured, been protected, and they are about to hatch. And then true nature. This does have a very Venusian feel today. And with this, this rose outfit, this rose dress, there's more of this focus on beauty, on beautifying the self, on feeling beautiful, knowing yourself to be beautiful, and then supporting that in whatever way you can. You totally can be, right? It's kind of an internal thing that you turn on and off. You can go out, in your pajamas and turn heads if that beauty is turned on. But I think you're not going to want to. I think you're going to want, to look in the mirror and really, wear something that feels aesthetically beautiful, right? Something that feels like you're wearing art, or that is a real compliment to your own beauty, as this rose is to this woman's beauty. And then we have the observer. So taking a little time to decide where to focus, but then really really sitting down and focusing. Deciding where, right, where your attention wants to be. Having that mental discipline to focus your attention where you want it to go, what you want to grow and bring into being. And then there's Eva. It's slightly subversive energy. You know, there is something, right? There is something subversive about beauty, about sort of internally generated beauty. So that whatever you're doing in this line, you know, it's not about copying magazine photos or, you know, doing whatever is the latest look. It's transcending those things. It's honoring your personal style. And that's both in, you know, the physical realm, what you wear and, you know, what your home looks like, and but also all of the mental things, right? What you read, what you say, what information you take in and allow into your sphere. But a lot of kind of what you say, how you express. But, you know, Eve, right? Eve, she ate the fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. She wanted to know it all, right? Including her shadow. And it may be that she knew instinctively that there was gold in there, that there was power, that there was the keys to desire. So you honor the shadow, you know its worth, but you don't let it drive the bus. So I'm going to dip back for a moment here. Oh, look at that. So I just went over there, I pulled up a stack of cards, and what's there? The Ace of Pentacles. And actually this nurturing Queen of Pentacles, who I didn't show on camera, but is here under this 4. And the Lovers. Oh, look, I can't stand it. The Ace of Swords. So aces, aces, aces. What I wanted to say was I didn't find this Ace of Wands until I got all the way past this King of Cups and the Sun. And the only deck where an ace hadn't shown itself was the Waite deck. And so before I started the reading, I went searching for the Ace of Wands in the Waite deck, and I found it between the 7 of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. So this is kind of the choice, right? You have the inspiration, the inspiring thought, the new idea, and then there's kind of 2 choices. You can allow the shadowy bits to like really take over and take you, you know, down some road that you don't want to go, even though you feel justified and right and all of these things. Or you can just turn around and right, take this Knight of Pentacles. Become devoted, determined to, right, to sort of take the high road, to take the beautiful road, regardless of, you know, how true or right or anything else this seems to be. Because there's no power here. Knowing that you're right about X, Y, or Z over there, and perseverating about it and being pissed, there's no power in that. And you may, I mean, I did, right? I spent a couple of days in this pissy place. It's like I had to pass through that, endure that. But I don't have to stick to it. I don't have to, you know, fight my way out and then return, right? I don't have to go backwards through the 9, the 8, the 7. I don't have to fight my way all the way through that to get to that Ace of Swords. I can move straight forward instead. Pisces, you're on your way. You absolutely are. And I look forward to whatever you're creating. I hope I meet you on the street and see what you're wearing. I hope that you, right, that you feel your own beauty. And that you, right, that you find your most favorite way to express it. Right? To have fun, to have joy in this process. I wish you the very, very best, Pisces. And I will see you next time. So long.